We're looking at profit and loss. Now, I need you guys to tell me, how do we calculate profit or loss? Let's look at profit. How do we calculate profit? Can anyone tell me? Thank you, Giamo. Selling price minus cost price. All right, good. Selling price minus cost price. Now I'm going to write just that on the screen. All right, selling price minus cost price. Okay. Now, I know what you're expecting. You're expecting me to put here in the front of this the word profit or loss. So you could say profit equals selling price minus cost price, but I want to take that away for now. Okay, I want to take that away for now, and I'm going to focus on what we have in front of us. So when we have a bigger number here and a smaller number here, all right, the answer for this sum, selling price minus cost price, will be positive. Okay, so I'm going to write here positive. Okay, but if we do the same thing, so I'm just going to copy this again. All right, and I'm going to go down here and put it over here. And if we have a smaller selling price, and a bigger selling price, sorry, bigger cost price, then the answer for this is not going to be positive. It's going to be a negative answer. Okay, we can put in some examples as we go. So let me write some examples here. So if the selling price is 20 Rand and our price well, that's not good for you if you want to make profit at all. Your answer is going to be minus 10. Okay, so when we have a positive answer for this sum, all right, when we have a positive answer for this sum, you're making profit. But if we have a negative answer for this sum, you're making a loss. Okay, so I'll go over it one more time. We are always trying to work out the selling price minus the cost price to find what is the difference, okay? But when we find that the difference is positive, all right? When you take your selling price, say it's 20, and you minus your cost price, say it's 10, and you see that your answer is positive, it's a positive 10, all right? You're making profit. But if you take the same sum and look at it below, where your selling price is smaller, it's 10 Rand, and your cost price is bigger, it's 20 Rand, you are going to make a loss. Your answer will be negative when you do the sum. 10 minus 20 is negative 10, all right? If you say 20 minus 10, that is a positive 10. But if you say 10 minus 20, that is negative 10. Okay, so when your selling price is smaller than your cost price and you get a negative answer for this sum, you're making a loss. If it's the other way around, selling price is bigger than your cost price, and you get a positive answer, you're making profit. Okay, so these two formulae here are both used to work out profit and loss. Okay. The main thing is that you are trying to do the selling price minus the cost price. You always have to do that. Okay. But when you look at your answer, that'll tell you if you're making a profit or not. So this calculation here, when you see the answer at the end, which is positive, you know you're making a profit. And when you do the calculation and you see the answer at the end is negative, you know you're making a loss. Okay, so it's the same calculation, but with a different answer, and that tells you if you're making profit or loss. Okay, now you might think, which decent businessman in his right mind is going to have a business that makes a loss? It can happen. It can happen. Okay, so here's a scenario that we're going to look at. Now, on Tuesday, we tried to work out the cost of making a donut, a single donut. All right. We had some ingredients for the donuts. These were the production costs, how to make the donut. We worked out how much it costs to make one donut. And then I asked you guys, well, how much should we sell it at? And you guys came up with some brilliant answers like, find out more about your competition. All right. As long as your selling price is more than your cost price, you're making profit. It's easy if you only have a production cost. But what if you have running costs? Because production costs go into making the product. All right. So we know how much it costs to make one donut. And then we just make sure that we sell it for more than that. That's easy. But we'll see here in this scenario on the screen, there's some other costs involved here, which starts to make things a little bit harder. So working out profit or loss in this situation is a little bit more challenging. All right, so let's read the scenario. So we have Zanelli Mokeda, a grade 11 at Mkubani Secondary School, sells broken cupcakes at school and in her neighborhood to earn extra income. She orders her stock at the cost of, now this is important, 100 Rand per 5 kilograms from Osmond's. And then she repackages it into small quantities of 90 packets. She has to pay a return taxi fee of 18 Rand to get to the place she wishes to sell at, whether it's the school or the neighborhood. And she sells small plastics and she uses them to repackage the broken cupcakes at a cost of 10 Rand for 50. So she buys plastic packets at a cost of 10 Rand for 50 plastic packets or packets. All right, a 10 Rand for 50 of those packets or pockets. And Zanelli does research and finds that the selling price of 2.50 Rand is competitive. So now she has decided that she has a selling price already. Okay, now we're gonna go over the story again because there's a lot of information here. All right. So the person is trying to sell to make profit. Okay. So the first part here, look at the yellow. It says here, she buys stock at 100 Rand for 5 kilograms. Okay. So it's a 5 kilogram tub. It costs 100 Rand and then repackages it into small quantities of 90. So this 100 Rands worth of cupcakes becomes 90 packets. So her stock that she buys is 90 packets worth of cupcakes. It costs 100 Rand. All right. She obviously has to pay a taxi fare as well. All right. So there's a taxi fare that needs to be included as well. And then when she sells, she has small plastic that she uses to repackage the broken cupcakes, and it costs her 10 Rand for 50 plastic pockets or packets. Let's make it packets. This is confusing me, the pockets. Let's make it packets. Okay, so she 10 Rand for 50 plastic packets. She wants to sell at 2.50 Rand. Okay, so it's a packet of cupcakes. I'm going to draw a little packet of cupcakes. All right, so there's a little packet, and inside there are little cupcakes. All right. Okay. How much is in there doesn't matter, but there are 90 of them. There are 90 of these packets that she wants to sell. All right. Going into these packets is the plastic. All right. It's also stock. She has to buy this. All right. And taxi fare. Now, why have I made these two different colors? Who can tell me why have I made these costs here? The plastic, cost of the plastic, the cost of the stock, and the cost of the taxi fare, two different colors. Who can tell me? Bumble.
How are you, sir?
I'm writing you.
I'm good.
So why have I got
You make
plastic?
the
Yes.
you make the different colors so that you can understand the scenario and to find information on different
Yeah.
prices.
Yeah. Okay. So that's yes, definitely it's a different scenario and different information about this. True. Bubba, were you here on Tuesday?
Yes, I was here on
Okay.
Tuesday.
So remember we talked about costs. When you make a product, there are two types of costs. There are production costs and what's the other one?
Cost selling.
Yeah, so there's the cost to produce it. And then the other cost is the running cost. Remember the running cost?
Yes, yeah, yes, I remember that one.
Like electricity, rent, and things like that.
Yes.
Okay, so what I've done here is I've split these costs up into production, which is red, and the blue one is the
Yes.
running cost.
Yes, sir.
All right, does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense, sir. Thanks.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Bumble. Awesome. Glad to hear from you. Yes, Olivergen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bumble. All right,
Yes.
good. So, yes, we've got two different costs here. All right, we've got the production costs and we've got the running costs going into this. Now, this is why I said to you, it's so easy to work out a profit if you just have production costs. Because if you know how much it costs you produce this packet of goods, you just have to increase your price to higher than your cost price, and you will start to make a profit. Okay. But we've got running costs on the side here as well. This is one of the hardest thing in a business is how to determine your running cost. All right. Because the production cost, we can work out how much it costs to produce one packet of cupcakes. One packet is a unit. But how do we determine how much taxi fare goes into one packet? It's not easy, is it? It's a little bit more difficult. So how do you work out profit if you've got these running costs here? All right. Well, this is what we're going to do now in this scenario. You guys are going to help me build up the scenario and answer these questions. And we are actually going to work out when will this person actually start to make profit in their business. Okay. So let me scroll down here to the first couple of questions. Number one. State the running costs in the scenario. Who can tell me? You can put it in chat if you want. State the running costs in the scenario. What are the running costs? You can see at the end of the question, I've highlighted it for you. I've also written it down here and I've named it, but what is the actual cost? Taxi fare, 18 Rand. Thank you very much. All right, so taxi fare of 18 Rand. Now, this is not a per packet cost. It's just a general thing for her whole business. All right, just remember that. Number two, state the production costs. State the production costs. What are the production costs? What has gone into producing a packet of cupcakes? What did you have to spend to produce and make a packet of cupcakes? There were the cupcakes, and what else needed to be bought to make this product? Anybody?
Somebody.
Somebody. Plastic and stock. Darren Links. Thank you very much. Darren Links is on the ball tonight. Thank you, Darren. Plastic and stock. So it's the stock, okay, which cost 100 Rand. Don't worry about the 5 kilogram parts, because this young lady who's selling as Anela doesn't worry about the mass. It's just an item. Okay, so it's 100 Rand, and this gives her 90 packets. All right, 90 units. Then there's also the plastic. Okay, and it costs 10 Rand for 50. But now if she needs 90, she's going to need more than 50. So I would say 2 times 10 Rand, which will give 100 units or packets. Let's put packets there. Okay. Chiama. So on Tuesday we spoke about the cost of producing an item isn't just about the materials you need to make it. So we used the donut analogy. We said if there's a recipe for a donut, you have to buy all these items to make the donut, like flour and sugar and all that kind of stuff. So those are the costs, the production costs, producing costs to produce your item. All right, materials you have to buy to produce your item. But outside of that, you have to actually run this business, maybe in a factory or at a home or somewhere, and you're going to incur running costs. When we mentioned the running costs on Tuesday, we talked about things like electricity, rent, salaries, fuel for vehicles. There we go. Okay, so these are all examples of running costs to run the business. Now, on Tuesday, we didn't even include the running costs. We just wanted to work out how much it costs to make a donut. And then we just increase the price, the selling price to make profit. But you'll see now in this scenario, when we have running costs, we also got to take them into consideration. So these are costs that don't come into play when you make your product, but they're in the background. So when it says, had to pay a return taxi fee of 18 Rand, it's got nothing to do with making a packet of cupcakes. It's just transport to get her to the marketplace. But that is a cost. It's a running cost to run her business. Okay. I hope that makes sense, Chiamo. All right. So we're just stating the production costs here. What they're asking us to do here is to split them up into the running costs and the production costs. Okay. Now, question 3 is the hard one. All right. Because now we're going to determine an equation. Don't freak out at the word equation. We're going to determine an equation to calculate the total costs or the expenses depending on the number of packets sold. Okay, now I'm going to help you with this one. Okay, you guys are going to do question 4. I'm going to help you with question 3 because you might not know where to start, but you'll probably be able to finish it. All right, so I'm going to write here total costs . Okay, and before I come and do this equation, I'm going to go back up to question 2 and I'm going to break it down a little bit more. Okay, so for this one here, in terms of the stock, I want to know how much it costs for one packet, because 100 Rand is for 90 units. I want to know for one packet, because look at question 3 here, all right, for the number of packets sold. Okay, so we need to work out a price for a packet, depending on how many packets, but we're going to need a per packet price. Right now, in question 2, this isn't split up into single packets. This is for 90 packets and 100 packets and things like that. So I'm going to go up to question 2 again, and I'm going to try and work out a price for one packet of stock. Who can tell me how am I going to do that? I'm going to work out how much it costs to get one unit of stock. All right, they've got 90 units here. It costs me 100. How do I work out how much is going to cost me? Emmanuel, there we go. Yes, Emmanuel.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon. How are you? I am good.
So what you can do is that you're going to take how many it produces and divide it by the cost, or the cost. No, the cost divided by how many it produces.
Okay,
to find
so
the value for one.
All right, so Emmanuel, take the cost there, which is 100, and divide it by how many you are trying to get. All right, good stuff, Emmanuel. You can reach for your calculator if you don't have it. This 100 divided by 90, and this gives us 1,11111. All right, very good. So this is 1 Rand 11 cents. I'm rounding off to 2 decimal places here. Okay. Excellent, Emmanuel. Stay with me though. You're going to help me with the next one. You still there? Oh, it's Emmanuel gone
Yes, I'm
already.
still here.
All right, you're gonna help me with the next one. So we got now a price for 1 unit of cupcakes. It costs 100 Rand for enough to make 90 units. How much does it cost for one? It costs 1 Rand and 11 cents. Okay. Now, Emmanuel, I've got here 2 times 10 Rand, so I've got 20 Rand for 100 packets. So how much for 1 packet?
Sir,
How do I work that out?
Please repeat the question.
Okay, so it's 20 Rand for 100 packets. How do I work out how much it costs for 1 packet?
20 Rand for 1 packet. So you're going to take that 20 Rand and divide it by how many units it can be produced given that price.
All right, let's
then
do
tell
that.
how much.
All right, let's do that. So let's say it's 20 Rand for all of them, for all 100. How much is it for one? 20 divided by 100. And that'll be 0.2. So that's 20 cents for a packet. Okay. Emmanuel, thank you so much for the assistance there. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so that's 1 Rand 11 for the cupcakes you need, and it's 20 cents for a packet. So altogether, all right, we've got a stock price of 111 and a plastic price of sorry, not 111, 1 Rand 11 and a plastic price of 20 cents. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, we can actually add these two up. All right, we can actually add these two up because this is one packet containing all the stock. All right, so I'm going to say it's 1 Rand 11 here plus 20 cents. That gives me 1 Rand 31. Okay, so that's how much it costs to produce 1 packet of cupcakes. All right, the materials needed to fill 1 packet of cupcakes and the packet that holds it. It's 1 Rand 30 per packet. Okay, let's come back down to my formula on question 3. Do you guys have an idea how we're going to do the equation here for question 3? All right. The total costs of this little venture, this venture of selling these cupcake packets, consists of 2 costs: the running costs and the production costs. All right. The running costs. Someone's got to help me here. Someone's got to help me here. Who'd like to help me with this, build this thing? Anyone out there that can help me here? Olibacheng. Who's there? Who's out there that can help me? Angel, Bianca. Who's there, guys? Come on. Darren, even Darren Links. I haven't heard Darren Links' voice. Darren Links, you out there?
Yes, sir.
Darren Links, help me out here. All right. We got two costs, right? We've got running costs and we've got production costs. I've just calculated the cost to produce, the production cost, which is 1 Rand 31. All right, that's my production cost. There it is, 1 Rand 31. Okay. Now, what is my running cost, Darren?
I'm not sure, but the running cost, it is the price in stock.
You see the question 1 where it says state the running costs there.
Yeah, the taxi fare.
Taxi fare. So the taxi fare must be the running cost. Right now, here's my question, Darren.
Yes.
Do we charge 18 Rand for a packet of cupcakes, or what are we charging the 18 Rand for? Is it a per packet price here, or what is this charge going towards? It's not going towards the packets and of muffins, isn't it?
No.
No, it's just it's a general thing, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So I can't actually charge it to a packet. It's just a general fee she has to pay, right? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So that's the running cost there, the 18 Rand. All right. Now I'm going to add on the production cost. Just remind me again, how much was it to produce one packet of this stuff again?
So,
1 Rand?
31. 31
31.
cents.
That's it. Okay. So it's 1 Rand 31 per packet, right? So
Okay. Yes, sir.
I'm going to say times here. I'm actually going to write the word packets. Are you happy with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm actually going to put a bracket in. If you've been with me, thank you, Darren. Thanks so much for your help. I really appreciate it.
No problem, sir.
All right. Now, if you guys know me, you know I like using brackets. So this part here, the 131 times packet, that's going to be my production cost. Okay. So I'm going to say to produce. And here, the 18 Rand is my running cost. Okay. So I've got a running cost and I've got a production cost here. Okay. Now, let's walk through this equation one more time. To get the total costs for this business, depends on two things, your running cost and your production cost. Number one, the running cost is always 18 Rand. If this lady goes anywhere to sell her product, she has to pay 18 Rand as a running cost, right? That sticks. You can't change that. It doesn't depend on how much she sells that day. If she goes out to the market and she sells nothing, she still has to pay 18 Rand as a running cost, no matter what, no matter how many packets she sells. The second thing is a production cost, a cost to produce. Now it costs the young lady a Rand 31 to produce. So how much does she have to pay in a certain day? We don't know. It depends on how many she makes, but according to this batch, she makes a certain amount. She makes 90 units. We could work it out for any batch, actually, because we have a price per packet. We could work out how much it costs her for 20 packets if she made 20 packets. We have a per packet price. So over here in the brackets here, the production cost is 131 times the packets, the number of packets that she makes. Okay. It depends on how many packets she wants to make for the day. But you can give this equation to her and say, this will be your total cost equation for the day. This will tell you how much you're going to have to spend in this day, depending on how many packets you sell today. All right. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. The most important thing to note here, guys, is that there's two parts in this, a running cost and a production cost. The production cost depends on the packets that are made. The running cost doesn't depend on anything. It's always there. It sticks there. It stays there no matter how many packets she produces. All right. Now, question number 4, you guys can do for me. Someone's going to help me with this one. We don't need any help with this one here. Someone can tell me exactly how to do this equation. All right. Okay. So who can help me with this equation? Who'd like to help me? It's question 4. Determine an equation to calculate the total income depending on the number of packets sold. What is she going to get in? All right, the one we've just done is for the costs. Now we're going to do the income, what she's getting in. Who can tell me? How are we going to build this equation? Anybody out there? Oh, guys, come on. Where's my people?
We are having a slow day in the office today.
Yeah, it is a slow day in the office, but it's okay. It's fine. We make it
It's
work.
all right.
It's all right. We make it work. We make it happen. Bumble's got all right. So in Bumble there on the screen, if you guys can check and chat, to give an example. If you make 90 units, that's how much it'll cost you. It'll be 80 Rand for the taxi plus 131 times 90 units that's produced. That's a total cost of 135.90. All right, interesting. So if this young lady makes 90 units, it's going to cost her 135.90. Okay, excellent, Bumble. Thank you very much. Who'd like to help me with the 18 times packets? Right, Tiamo, thank you for your attention. So the times packet is important, okay, because the money that this person gets in is purely based on how many packets she sells. All right. So I'm going to say the total income, Tiamo, well done. The total income will equal something times the number of packets that she sells. All right. Now, where is this value? Let's go up to the story. I wonder if you can see it there. Tiamo, have a look there and quickly tell me for income, money coming in. Where does it talk to you about where she's going to get money coming in for the packets that she sells? Should see a value there in the story. I will direct your attention to the last sentence of this. Yes, there we go. Well done. So the last sentence of the story, Gemma, says there that Zanelli does research and finds that selling the packets for 250 is a competitive price. So when she gets money in, it'll be 250 per packet. All right, it'll be 250. So you weren't looking at the story. All right, I know the story, but you weren't looking at the story. All right, you're trying to figure it out with the information that you have. Absolutely normal. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now have a. It's not your fault. All right, I should have gone up to the story in the first place. We've got two equations here that we can give Zanele and say, Zanele, to run your business with the basic information that you've given us, you need these two equations. Number one, this one will tell you the total costs depending on how many packets you sell in a day. And number two, this will tell you the total income depending on how many packets you sell in a day. But Zanele comes to you and says, listen, yeah, I just want to make profit. Well, unfortunately, Zanele doesn't understand that when you run a business, this thing called running costs is hard to quantify. Okay, it's not a per packet cost. You can't work out how much taxi fare will go into each packet. You could for that day, maybe, but it's not easy. There are other running costs. How much electricity went into doing this? All right. And there's Mbabo is using 90 as an example. If the person sells all 90, they'll make 225 Rand. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. But the running cost really confuses us. So let's do a little more calculating here. Okay. This is the crux of tonight's lesson. We've got two equations. All right. I am going to show them to you on the screen there. Just remember them. You can write them down if you want. And then question 5 says, here we go. Determine if Zanele will make a profit or a loss for the following number of packets sold. Okay. The first one, what if she goes out to wherever the market is and she sells nothing? First question, is she making a profit or a loss? Second part of the question, what is the profit or the loss? Okay, just remember that to work out profit, you need to take your selling price. Okay, think of this as when you sell, you get income, and you got to take your selling price minus your cost price. Okay. She's making a loss. Everyone's like, sir, she's making a loss. She's making a loss. How do you guys know? Have you got calculations to back that up? Do you have calculations to prove your answer? Because the exam will ask you that. They'll say, is she making a profit or loss? Substantiate your answer with calculations. All right. Let's do the calculation. You guys are right. You will make a loss, but let's do the calculations to work it out. Someone must have some calculations there. All right, here we go. We're going to take the selling price. We're going to do this exercise. We're going to say sell, which is when she gets income, minus the cost. Okay, which is the selling one? That's this equation here, 250 times packets. Okay, so I'm going to say 250 times 0 packets. That's the income that she'll get, right, when she sells, minus the cost. Well, the cost is always 18 Rand plus 1 Rand 31 times 0, because you're not selling anything. All right, this is for no packets. No packets. Okay. All right, let's have a look. So what's 250 times 0? 0 minus. What is 131 times 0? 0. So all we have left is minus 18 Rand. 0 rands minus 18 rands equals negative 18 rands. She's definitely making a loss. Okay, excellent, Katlego. Well done. Okay, now you see how I did that one there? I used the income or the selling one, all right, the sell, which was this one here, and minus the cost, which is this one over here. The two equations, and I put them into the profit formula. Let's try it with 10 packets. I'll do the second one. You guys are going to do the rest. Okay, work with me. Watch what I do. We're going to say the selling. How does she get income? When she sells. What if she sells 10 packets? All right. How much does it cost her for 10 packets? Well, we know it's 18 Rand always for taxi fare, and it's 131 to make a packet. So it's 131 times 10 packets. All right. What does this give us? Okay. This gives us 250 times 10 is 25 Rand. Oh, she's making money now. Minus, what are her costs? Well, it's 18 Rand plus, what's 131 times 10? That's 13 Rand 10 cents. So what is 18 plus, let me make some space here quickly. Let me make some more space. All right, so let's go further. We've got 25 Rand minus 31 Rand 10, which equals negative 6 Rand 50. Will the running costs always be fixed? In the Tiamo, in the math lit questions, the running costs will, no, they don't necessarily have to be fixed. They usually are, like rent and things like that. And they don't often give you a lot of them. They give you maybe one or two, or in fact, they'll add them up and give you a total running cost. But they often usually only include one, like rent or a salary or something like that. Transport. In this case, they use transport. They usually pick one, and it'll be 1 Rand value. You could have, I mean, there are costs involved for production. Yeah, no, it'll just be one. It should be one thing, like they'll say rent or transport or fuel or something like that. Or even running costs. They'll call them running costs and give you a value. So you don't have to actually work them all out and things like that. It'll be a lot more simple than that. So you should only have one running cost and then one production cost in your equation. Okay. They don't make it too complicated. It's a lot easier than what you're seeing here. We're just breaking everything down tonight into little bits to make sure that we understand everything. So in this case, guys, for 10 packets, it's 25 Rand that she gets as income, but she's spending 31 Rand 10, still making a loss of 6 Rand 50. All right, I need you to tell me profit or loss for 20. Profit or loss for 20, guys. You should be doing it. Profit or loss for 20 packets. There should be some furious calculating going on your side there. Tapping of calculator buttons. Angel.
Morning, afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, Angel.
Okay, so can I 950 times 20, which gave me 50.
Hold on a second.
Then
Hold on. Let me just write it out as we go. So it's 250 times 20, which gave you 50.
Which gave
You
me
said 50.
50.
Okay. Carry on.
Then I said 18 Rand plus 1 Rand 31.
Yeah.
Times 20.
Yeah.
Which gave me 44,2.
Altogether, so the 18 plus that will give you 44,2.
Yes.
Okay. So this is 26,2 if I'm right. Let's check the, yeah. All right. So this, let me just write this again. Hold on, stay with me. Let me just make space here. I'm just writing down everything you're telling me. So it's 50 Rand minus, and you said 44,2. All right.
Equals
Yes.
5,8.
Positive 5,8.
Yes, sir.
So does she make profit or loss? Is it a profit, Angel, or is she making a profit or a loss now?
It's a profit.
And finally, yes, excellent. Thank you, Angel. Finally, she's making profits. Finally, this young lady is making profit of 5.80 Rand. Sure. So this is an exercise that she would have to do. She'd have to build these equations, do some examples, and get to a point where am I going to make profit here? Now, if we had to ask, ladies and gentlemen, how many exactly must she sell to make profit? Exactly, not roughly like 20 or 10. Exactly how many of these packets must she sell to make profit or loss? Do you think that is an easy process to work out or difficult? Because look here, we are making a loss here at 10 packets, but we're making profit here at 20. Who can tell me with surety, with accuracy, when she's going to start making profits? How many must she sell to start making profits? Who can tell me with surety? Could you guys maybe tell me? Or would you be sure with your answer? Just looking at these two calculations that we've done now. Darren's like 30. 30 is safe, Darren. Yeah, 30 is safe. If we go to 30, she's definitely making profit. Okay. We hit 20 and we're making profit, but not much profit. All right. But from 20 onwards, we're making profits. I'm not going to do the 30 calculation. But for 10 packets, 20 upwards. Okay, so Leberging is playing it safe, which is absolutely fine. Leberging is saying, based on the information we have in front of us, this young lady's got to make 20 or more. Okay, but what if they're asking you guys, let's not waste money and let's work out exactly. So if she's in the market, all right, and she says, I'm not leaving it today until I make profit. And she's going to count every single packet until she hits a profit. And then like, listen, I just want to go home, but I can't go until I start making profits. I need to know how many packets I have to sell to make a profit, and then I want to go home. Right, I was just doing the calculation for 30 packets. All right, you can go ahead and do that and tell us how much profit. So guys, it's somewhere between 10 and 20. How could we work it out? It's somewhere between 10 and 20. What could we do? Do you have any suggestions how we could find this magic number between 10 and 20 to determine exactly how many she must sell to make profit? Do you guys have any ideas? Where between 10 and 20 packets will she start making profit exactly? Or you guys not too worried about it? Like, just sell 20 and you're making profit and be done with it. Surely you'd want to know exactly where do we start making, what's the magic number? Well, it's not easy to tell unless we do a lot of calculations, right? We'd have to do calculations for 11, 12, 13, all the way down 19 and 20. We'd have to do all those calculations. Okay, if you want to, you can go work it out. You can do all those calculations and you'd find one of those numbers that you would start to make profit. Okay, you would start to make profit at one of those numbers. All right, now, next time I see you, we are going to take two equations very similar to this. Okay, And we are going to plot them on a graph. All right. We're going to take number of packets and the rand value for these packets. And we are going to plot a graph for sales. And we're going to plot a graph for costs. And we are going to see where we start making profit and where we start making loss. If we had a graph, we could pinpoint exactly how many packets. We can't see it graphically. We'd have to do a whole lot of calculations here. Between 10 and 20, we'd have to recalculate over. What about 11 packets? What about 12 packets, 13 packets? Recalculate. Where is the magic number? Where does she start making profit? How many packets? We know it's 20, but we've jumped from 10 to 20. It's quite a big jump. So we'd have to go in between. Now with a graph, you don't need to do that. A graph will tell you exactly when and where this young lady will start to make a profit. Okay. And that is called a break-even analysis. And next week, we're going to do break-even analyses. Very useful in this kind of situation when you have running costs to see when you make profit or loss on a graph, a break-even analysis. 16. All right, Darren in the background has been furiously calculating. You guys can confirm on your own if you want. You have the formulas, but Darren's saying, sir, it's 16. Okay. You guys are going to have to go and confirm that yourselves, but Darren's saying, sir, at 16, this young lady will start to make a profit. Okay. We will use this scenario and get a graph, and I'll show you how easy it is. Break-even point. Yes, Katlecha, we're going to learn about the break-even point. We're going to learn by looking at the graph exactly where this person starts making profits. So I'm going to take the scenario, we're going to put it on a graph, and you're going to see, yes, it is 16. You guys have done the calculations? All right, very good. Well done with you to do the calculations, but we're going to use a graph next time and just draw a line down and see 16 on the dot there. Okay. All right. Apologies for no video tonight. All right, you didn't get to see my face, but at least you could hear my voice. We did an awesome exercise on this. Before you go, enjoying the rest of your Thursday holiday.